formal intro just yet, but we're just waiting for people to come on in, get themselves sorted, and then we can go racing for the final time this season. Season 6. We've had 6 seasons over the course of a little over a year, and they have been phenomenal. All 6. Up until this point, we haven't really ever had a dull race, and that is what we love about the Sprint Championships. Short, sweet and simple, and they get to the point with the action. Never robbed of a good race at all. And I think we are getting ourselves underway and racing very soon. We're just waiting for a couple more people to get themselves loaded in, and then we can go racing, which I certainly cannot wait for one bit. Always a good opportunity to just see some good action. You know, I'm never ever going to be robbed of showreel clips during season 2. When I come to update my showreel, I've been keeping tally of things that I can have over the course of everything I do on PC, on here, and honestly, the stuff I could get from here, I have to be very specific what I grab from PS4. I have to show a variety of things, but the APPF1 could get so many things. So many things. But yeah, if you are watching post-race, do make sure to skip over to the intro. That'll be in a few moments time when we get everyone in and readied up and ready to go. Good way to sort of try and hype up the colossal fight that we've got going on between Ghost and MX. Aston Martin versus Alfa Romeo. Rick's already readied up. I'm surprised he's not in the chat yet. He usually comes to say hello before he goes. I have my cup of tea, so you know it's going to be a good race. 2 races, actually. Yeah. Good couple of races is what it's going to be. So I will say, welcome along everyone to what is one of the most fiercest and closest title rivals in sprint history. MX and Ghost have been titans, dominating week in and week out. Both are champions, but which will seal another tonight? The pendulum has swung both ways throughout the course of this season, with Ghost getting off to a dominant start. MX consistency, though, would prove dividends. The 3-time sprint champion is hunting for his 4th, the Season 3 Tier 1 champion, looking to become only the 2nd driver to win a cross series. We end then this chaotic season with the usual format. Sochi and Silverstone are where our boys take centre stage in their bid to seize championship glory. Both tracks with their challenges, their twists, their turns, and most of all, their overtaking opportunities. I, for one, cannot wait. 10 races down. 2 to go in this all-out brawl for the Sprint Drivers' Championship. 1 point between them, but only one can reign victorious. 2 drivers, 2 races, 2 venues, 1 title. Buckle up. It's time. And we're loading straight in then to our one-shot qualifying here in the Sochi Autodrome, the old Winter Olympic Park with the racetrack built around it. We will say goodbye to Sochi in a couple of years' time. We'll head over to, I think it's St. Petersburg, somewhere along those lines, for the Russian Grand Prix with a modified track, I think, something. I forgot the name of it, but we're going somewhere. We're getting away from Sochi, which, to be honest, hasn't really ever given us a particularly fantastic race, apart from 2021, but every track pretty much did that in 2021. But yeah, looks a little bit overcast, could be quite dry. We'll go on board then with our championship protagonist, the man in 2nd place. Ghost always gives us some reliable qualifying laps to ride on board with. So through turn 1, this little kink that you can't really class as a corner. Longest run towards the braking zone on the calendar. Seems like Ghost has sacrificed a little bit of straight line speed for more downforce. Looking for that black box on the left hand side, down to 3rd gear. Try not to lock up over that inside curve. Decent run, keep it to the left through turn 3 and hook up this curve. Really helps you to minimise the amount of steering angle that you have to put in on the car. You can see really wrestling it around in towards turn 4. Get it turned in once more, use that inside curve, clip the apex and run the car out to the exit of the circuit. Turn number 5. Purple to the first sector goes Ghost, though it's quite topsy-turvy between himself and Blair. Through 6 and into 7, got to be careful of that curb on the right hand side. It will chuck the car into the air and really destabilise it. Through 7 and through 8 in towards 9, This is where you can really make up some time. This is make or break. You've got to get a good exit off of this corner. Really get the car straight as soon as possible. Drive the car down this back straight towards turns 11 and 12. This chicane, very heavy braking, so good overtaking opportunity if you can nail it. 100-meter board, purple to the middle sector goes Ghost. This could be one of his most important pole positions of the season, of his career, in one of the closest championship fights he has ever been, and MX is pushing incredibly hard to even match him. He is on the front foot going into this race, not by much, only 1 point between our two championship rivals. Through the penultimate corner and into the final one, it's a short run to the line. MX is trying his absolute hardest to stay in third place. Ghost gets pole position for his most important one-shot qualifying. MX misses out on the front row by 3/1000ths of a second. Then comes Blair, matching his time to the millisecond, both on a 31.722. MX, though, managing just to pip him a little bit and managing to get himself into third place, which will put him directly in Ghost slipstream down in towards turn 1. Well, the season 6 finale, this is race 1, the one decided by the one-shot qualifying grid. It is Ghost hunting for his 4th championship, 2.5 tenths clear of Madman Ollie Oliver, our tier 2 champion, who will join him on the front row. Then comes MX just a little bit behind. RJ Blair completes the second row. Then comes Calm Koala, who seems confident into this race, rounding off the top 5. Sumo and Rick 6th and 7th, with Slippy Jimmy in 8th. Then comes Kingston in 9th. Aces rounds off the top 10, with Stingray the only one outside the top 10 to actually complete a lap. Then comes Jackalacko, TDV Max, Tinos, Lifebout and VK, all unable to set a clean qualifying time, which is one really you should expect around a place such as Sochi. Very easy to track extend, and that's probably what our two championship rivals were aiming for, just to complete the lap. That's most important. Better to lose a couple of tenths than to invalidate the entire lap and start at the back. That will really put you on the back foot. Remember, if you are joining me for the first time, APPF1 runs a slightly different point system, so that each position drops by 1 point between them. So 20 for first, all the way down to 1 for last if you finish at 20th, and obviously if you DNF, you don't get any points. But that's how it works, that's how close it's been, and that's why we've only got 1 point, 1 position, or even 1 fastest lap between our two rivals. Ghost has had 6 wins of the 10 races so far, completely dominant, you would think. But his second races, he's had a couple of bad spells, and that's where MX's consistency. He's only led 8 laps. He's only won 2 races, and yet he has still managed to lead the way. That's why consistency is key. You don't really get much of an advantage for winning the races you do with the traditional F1 point system, where it's 7 points for a win and then everything else sort of fiddles down. No, you win a race, it's good. You gain as much on second as second does on third. You've won the race, cool, that's awesome. But MX was there, second, third, fourth, there or thereabouts. Ghost had a couple of bad races where he was like sort of, you know, 8th, sort of blah blah blah, you know, those sort of places. And that really did hurt him. Well, in fact, I say that his average race 2 place was 0.2 of a position higher than MX, but over the course of the season, that's where it's been equal on podiums. At 7 apiece. They've really just been incredible. Both drivers deserve this championship. Unfortunately, we can only give the title to one, because that's sort of how a championship works, is the person at the top of the table gets the credit, and the person in second sort of has to... Well, often, they always say you forget the person who finishes second. Just look, the 2020 Formula 2 championship, Callum Ilott just got completely brushed off. Great driver, had a really bad last round of that F2 championship, and now he's nowhere, you know? Well, not nowhere, but not where he probably deserves to be. You always remember the champion. But MX has been good off the starts throughout this season. He's really managed to maximise those crucial getaways. He gets the first stage, gets the second stage, and then picks his way through the field, and that's what makes a good racer. This is probably one of his best qualifying of the season in P3. He's always, you've seen him languishing down in P8, P7, sort of that area. His average qualifying is actually P6, whereas Ghost's is P4. So that just goes to show that MX slightly has fallen off a little bit in quali, but he makes up for it in the race, and that's what's crucial. That's where the points are scored. and that's where he could try and clinch his first sprint title and become the 4th driver ever to do so. Actually no, 5th driver ever to do so. No, it's not. Because Vardy didn't win. It's been Ghost, Scott, Ted, and it would be MX if he wins. Or is Ghost going to make it 4 out of 6 seasons? We'll find out in 2 races time. First up though, we have the first race of the evening, the one at the Russian Grand Prix. We go to the lights, the cars are revving up, the adrenaline is pumping. 5 red lights, the Russian Grand Prix then. Season 6, race 1 is underway. Great reaction times from MX, already in the slipstream of Ghost, already trying to pull alongside. They're 3 abreast in towards turn 1, and MX already into the lead. Ghost has had an absolute shocker of a start as they all try and funnel their way through. Big crash to the back, Calm Koala is already out. MX under pressure from Madman in towards turn 1. There goes Blair to the inside of Ghost, who's had a shocker of a start. Blair gets a bit sideways and has to take to the escape road, but MX into the race lead. And already, after 3 corners, a virtual safety car in effect. No one is out of this race just yet, but a poor start from Ghost. Really did not get away well, and they always say pole is more of a burden than a blessing here at Sochi. You get slipstreamed all the way down, but MX didn't even need it. He was already ahead of the pair of them into turn 1. Ghost didn't get away well, and now the pendulum once more swings into MX's favour. All he has to do now is control this pace. Under the VSC, they have to calm it down a little bit. We go green straight away, only half a lap. Madman already trying to put some pressure on, searching for his first sprint victory as they go through. No DRS in effect just yet. He's relying on pure engine power, pure slipstream, and that energy recovery system. But Ghost is working, trying to get back in front. Being on that front foot is going to help him, or is he going to use the McLaren to sort of etch the way through? VK already out of this race, out of turn 8. Very easy mistake to make, but once again, another retirement for the AlphaTauri, which is a massive shame for him. In towards 14 and 15, bit of a snap for Madman that could allow Ghost to get through. In fact, it doesn't. He loses that momentum, tries to gain the place, and all this is doing is allowing MX to get ahead. The more these guys are slowing each other down, the more MX goes. Think long. It's only a 13-lap race. You might be thinking, well, it's only 13 laps. It's not really much of a long game to play, but you've got to. You've got to think there's plenty of time, and Madman Oliver on the back foot having to go defensive. Here comes Ghost to the left-hand side. It's crucial. He gets this move sealed. MX giving the McLaren the slipstream in order to defend. Down the bit inside comes Madman. Ghost gets the drive off the corner. Madman spun round off the exit of turn 2 over the sausage curb, and now our 2 championship protagonists, 1 and 2, in this race. MX leads from Ghost in second. Ghost will win with the ERS management. Absolutely could be a factor, because look, that, well, I mean, already they're equal in terms of ERS. Ghost has had to pass Madman though. Sumo into P3. Championship aside, Sumo's on the podium, ladies and gentlemen. Both him and Rick are making some good progress. Same again with Lifebout and Jack Alacco. Both of them are coming through the field as well. And we've got no time for you. Absolutely no time for you in the chat. Please go away. I know you're a bot and you do not understand English. Just absolutely go away. Probably should get some mods. But yeah, we've got a couple of people into the pit lane. Calm Koala, Kington and Tinos and Stingray all having to come in after the first lap. Lap 2 of 13 in the books. Very shortly, Ghost is pushing very hard, and he'll get the benefit of the slipstream and DRS next time around. Stingray already becomes our second retiree of this race, and a VSC has been brought out once again, which not the most ideal thing in the world. Stops the momentum of the race, kills with the rhythm. Ghost and MX both in. They're going to utilise this in order to make a cheaper pit stop. They can come in under the 40% race speed delta. It's a cheaper pit stop. Rick might have to double stack though. That's the thing. Another strategical blunder for the Flying Dutchman. It could well be if Ghost doesn't get in and out as quickly as possible. In onto the medium jack. Rick's going to have to wait. He's going to lose a couple of paces, a couple of seconds at the very least. Hopefully for Ghost that MX gets held up a little bit, but they both make this cheap pit stop onto the mediums and to the end. Jackalacco and TDB Max both stay out to take the lead of this race and assume the top 2 places. And when we go green again, Ghost has lost a lot of time. Not quite sure how that's managed to happen. Whether MX pushed a little bit more on the pit exit or pit entry, sorry, to gain that time, given that extra bit of breathing room. I'm not quite sure. Ghost is having to slow down quite a lot though. He's lost so much time off this safety car restart. If it goes green now, he wants to close the gap to MX, who's just gained so much. realizing that as long as you enter the pit lane, you don't actually lose the delta, or you don't get penalized for, you know, being above the delta. So now MX leads by 2.5 seconds. Ghost has his work cut out for him. DRS will be enabled on this lap as well, and Sumo is in the mix. Will Sumo care about the championship? Will he want to get into second place, or is he going to say, this isn't my fight, this isn't my championship, I'm going to let Ghost do what he needs to do, I'm not going to get involved. If Ghost can catch, Ghost can catch. In fact, if I was Sumo, sit in the DRS, save your ERS, catch MX with him. You never know, they could, with the championship at stake, drive into the side of each other. They could, something along those lines. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but for Sumo's sake, if he stays with Ghost and Ghost catches and they fight, could find himself in the race win, because if they both drive into the side of each other, there's a gap that he can go through. He's going to take it, he's going to want to take it, and even then he's not really getting involved with the championship battle. But the thing is, MX is so good, so consistent in the race. So too is Ghost. Don't get me wrong, he is incredible in the race. He really knows how to hook the car up and lap after lap, but MX doesn't often make mistakes unless it's in wheel-to-wheel combat and things along those lines. They're just so equal on pace. They have been all season long. That's why they're only separated by a single point, a single place, a single fastest lap into this final round. Looking to the inside does Rick, but he's got a couple of people on his tail. Ace is in fact a little bit deep over the curbs through turns 1 and 2. Sumo's still putting some pressure on Ghost. I think he's hoping that MX catches up to the other two. Campoala setting the fastest lap of 34.664. The extra point goes his way. I mean, Ghost could make this go down to race 2, because at the moment it's going to be 2 points between himself and MX into the final race at Silverstone, which is Ghost. That's his playground. That's where he can dominate. Of course, we don't have Koru at the moment. Koru is also very quick at Silverstone, but Ghost, his home race, whatever it is, something helps him along the way. He loves Silverstone. He's so quick at Silverstone, knows how to get the move done at Silverstone. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Sochi, can't quite remember a Ghost win at Sochi, if I'm completely honest. So the important thing I think for Ghost is going to be to get that extra fastest lap point. If he can get that in hand, this race is completely neutral. Didn't matter, didn't happen really in the grand scheme of things. And then into Silverstone, it's all down to that, and then we'll have to see. Ghost has dropped Sumo just a little bit, but MX sets the fastest lap of the race. Ghost responds to that with a 33.868 at the moment. Slippy Jimmy straight away though, 33.496. So quick times coming in from these guys. Not that extra point from Ghost. And at the moment, not really much in the way of action to report. A long DRS train from Blair down to Madman Ollie Oliver, who of course had that spin on the second lap trying to chase after MX. And that did certainly stop him from getting onto his, I think, first sprint podium. Hasn't stopped him just yet. We've still got half the race left to go. Yeah, well, Russia's a difficult circuit. It's very easy to make a mistake, very easy to launch a curb, to get a penalty, all of those things. And Rick has actually fallen back a little bit. Oh no, he hasn't, has he? Oh no, he did, didn't he? Because of the pit stops and him not being able to, of course, have the quickest pit stop possible. Probably if I was him, I would have carried on an extra couple of laps. But we see RJ Blair on the back of Sumo. Is he close enough in order to go for a move? This is for a net P3 to the outside of turns 12 and 13. Is Sumo alongside? Yes, he is. The Alpine versus Ferrari side by side through the left. It's the inside for Blair. Is Sumo still there? No, he's not, because he's in the barrier and he's lost his front wing. Everyone behind gets promoted a position. Is that going to be a full course yellow, or is Sumo going to be okay? But absolute heartbreak for the Briton with MX coming and TDB Max. I always get those two confused. TDB Max is into the pit lane, because their names are both Max, and I see Max, MX, etc, etc. TDB Max is into the pit lane. He's going to be on the medium compound tyres to the end. Him and Jacko doing the more orthodox strategy with Slippy Jimmy on the back of the Aston Martin. Rick has got nothing to defend to that one. Around the outside, or to the inside, back to the outside, through turns 1 and 2. And that is as easy as you'd like it. Rick might be able to come back at him, but Haven't quite been able to do that. In fact, he's going to go all the way around the outside of turn 3. Keeper's foot in the inside for 4. Can he make it stick? No. The Williams has that outside momentum. Here comes Aces with some backwards momentum to the inside and gets ahead. So Rick having to turn offense into defense, tried to gain a position, and in the process has lost one, which is a shame. Ghost, sub 2 seconds, the gap between himself and MX. He realizes he can't get the fastest lap. He's not on those fresh, soft compound tyres anymore. He's going to need to do the hard work himself. He's going to need to make this race neutral, get in front of MX and seize that point. Because remember, if Ghost wins on countback, ladies and gents, if it goes to countback, Ghost wins. He's got 6 wins to 2. So even if MX wins both races, as Aces goes up the inside of Slippy Jimmy, goes a little bit too deep. Rick going to look up the inside, try and seize this opportunity to the inside of the Williams. Again, can't quite get through. Calm Koala, a man with so much confidence, which we love to see. Fine line between confidence and arrogance, though. He treads the line very carefully between the two. But P12 and a 3-second penalty go his way. He has shown he's got some good pace, though, with his qualifying in P5. But again, 1.3 seconds between Ghost and MX. He is pushing so hard. He's got everything on the line. So does MX, who has everything to lose. That's the thing. You come into the championship leading the way. You're the one with more to lose. You're the one with the more pressure. Both of you have it, yes. But Ghost is the one chasing. Ghost is the one pushing hard and hard and hard in order to close the gap. Whereas MX, he's driving a little bit more cautiously. He's thinking, if I spin, I'm going to lose the gap. I'm going to lose the gap. I can't bottle it. I'm leading. I'm doing so well. And all that's playing in his head over and over and over again. He's only won 1 championship. He's hardly ever really won a race. And his consistency has put him in these positions. Ghost, many wins. Not sure on the exact number, but the tally's been increased by 6 this season alone. So you'd imagine it's somewhere in the double digits at the very least. We know how good Ghost is, and he's chasing his 4th title in the Sprint Series, his 3rd consecutive title, whereas MX, Season 3 Tier 1 champion, but yet to boast success in terms of the Drivers' Championship here in the Sprint Series. He'll become the 2nd ever driver. Madman Ollie Oliver, though, quickly. Slippy Jimmy, though, all over the rear end of him, using that dirty air. And spun round because of it. The rear end just got snappy into the barrier as Jackalacco is into the pit lane. Yes, another victim of that exit curb through turns 13 and 14, or 12 and 13 I should say. Ghost and MX reassume the top 2 places, with Ghost lingering and teasing the edge of that beautiful sweet spot of 1 second. He's now within it, and he's chasing and chasing. MX has dwindled his reserve of ERS management, and his battery deployment is gone. We've lost Slippy Jimmy from this race. He retired in the pit lane, becomes our 3rd. But Ghost has a little bit more in hand. That's what he can do. He can drive fast, and he can remain in abundance of that battery power. 40% compared to 14% for MX. Ghost drives quick. He uses that battery at the right time, the key acceleration zones, just to give the rear wheels a little bit extra. 160 brake horsepower to spin them up a little bit quicker. Down the straight, just to spin them a little bit more, give it that extra boost down the straight. He's just about going to miss out on DRS this time around, but he's there. He's flirting with it a little bit. He's half a tenth off here, under it through one corner, above it the next. He's going to be trying, because once he's there, he's latched on. He's basically cast a fishing hook, and he's onto that rear wing, and he's reeling it in. And the thing you don't want to do with Ghost is you do not want to give him a scent of weakness, because he will exploit it. He will show you what he can do. He will show you what he's made of, and he will find a way through. He's fierce, he's feisty, and he will win. But so too will MX, and that's what's magical. They aren't normal drivers, they aren't the midfield, they aren't the back markers, where Ghost's driving style of just sending one to the inside will get him through willy-nilly, absolutely slam dunk into that position. No, because MX is going to fight it. MX is going to fight it equally as hard, if not harder, in order to stay in front. Both are colossal drivers. Both have been colossal this season. Complete tyrants of the championship, taking 8 wins of the 10 between themselves. And it's going to be, it's going to be 9 of the 11. And if they win the race too, it's going to be 10 of the 12, which is just incredible. An incredible achievement to share amongst them. Rick on the back of Aces. Calm Koala has retired from the session in the pit lane. I think people are just giving up. They're so far back that they just want to watch this fight because Ghost is closing and he's closing fast and he's within 0.7 of a second. That's well under the 1 second he needs. And don't forget, he's got the ERS in hand. If he gets through, it goes all down to who finishes in front in Silverstone, in the slipstream, in the DRS. Not quite close enough to mount a challenge just yet, but he's closing. He's waiting for that move in towards turns 2 and 3. MX might be cheeky though. Very easy for him to just wait and let him through. Rick unable to get past Aces. But we've seen before where MX will back off a little bit, force you to back off, bolt it, or he will just let you through. Give himself the DRS, which is something we've seen him do. But he's had a stellar final sector, managed to pull the gap up to 9/10. Bit of a mistake from Ghost, or just sheer masterclass from MX. Either way, Ghost is still in this DRS zone, and MX is going to be on the back foot. He's having to deploy everything, and once Ghost decides when to get through, he will get through, whether it's down a straight, into a corner. His straight line speed advantage will just allow him to blitz through with Rick. Still unable to find a way through on Aces, who is driving really well in terms of his elite settings. He's progressed really well this season, and in Tier 1 when he's driven. He's done a great job at progressing, similar to Palf's progression as well, when he first got onto the wheel and is now starting to get a little bit quicker, or started to get a little bit quicker. Yeah, has shown great progression. Sochi seems to be a good circuit for him as well. But we come to the next DRS zone. 4/10 between our two title rivals will mean whoever finishes ahead in Silverstone wins the championship, using a little bit of ERS and slipstream and DRS, and to the left hand side in towards the chicane. Who's going to be late under on the brakes, or is MX going to concede it? Ghost into the race lead, looking to make it a 7th win of the season, but MX is going to have the slipstream. He's going to have the DRS down in towards turns 2 and 3. And that's going to help him. All he needs to do is hook up this final sector, as he's done. Needs to use every little bit of ERS he has left in order to stay in front. On to lap 11 of 13. 3 laps of this race remain, and they could have massive implications. Every point counts in a championship this close. 200 meters until the DRS activation zone. Ghost has got his work cut out for him in order to stay in front. Down this back straight, this pit straight, to the right hand side comes MX. He's going to come right back at the Aston Martin. The two title rivals once again side by side. Ghost has to concede in order to just to make the corner. He cannot afford to have any contact, any damage, but he knows MX is weak. He's looking at that blinking red light. He knows that he can get through at a moment's notice. He's got to wait. He's got to wait and wait and wait until he knows that MX cannot come back at him. And whether that's getting the move done in towards turn 2 and 3, getting it stopped, then driving away through the middle sector before they get to the next DRS zone, we don't know, because overtaking into turns 12, not really ever going to work. Unless you know you're very quick for the final sector. It doesn't often work. We'll have to see what he does. 3.8 tenths between the two. DRS open, and once again he's using that ERS. He wants to come right back at the Alfa Romeo. These two are going at it lap after lap. To the right hand side, it's going to be the inside for the chicane. Is MX going to concede, or is he going to go around the outside? No. Deja Vu goes a little bit of a lock up though, could send him in deep. MX is going to have to back off a little bit. Might lose a bit of momentum. That's what Ghost is going to do. Park it on each apex, then drive off the exit of the corner. Make MX lose his rhythm and have a great final sector, because it's a long run down and towards the braking zone. You've got turns 1 and then all the way down. Really is a key slipstream zone. But MX is pushing him. He's pushing him very hard. Penultimate lap of this race, lap 12 of 13. They're a mile clear from RJ Blair, who's 4 seconds back. MX using what little ERS he's got left. The DRS, the slipstream. Goes parked it to the middle of the circuit, doesn't defend. It's pointless defending because MX blitzes through and back into the race lead through turn 1. Ghost's going to come back at him though. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 3? He's going to try it, keep his foot in, similar to what his teammate did. They're going to go side by side. Has to back out though, because MX makes that Alfa Romeo very wide. Ghost looking for a way through. Whatever he's tried so far hasn't worked, but he's done an incredible job in order to close this 2.5 second gap that it was at the first pit stops. And he's done a great job since. Now has a sniff of victory, has a sniff to make it go down to the final race in Silverstone. Make it equal points. quite sure who has the fastest lap. It's Madman Ollie Oliver, so it's not going the way of either of these two. But once more, in the slipstream, in the DRS, is Ghost going to go for it, or is he going to realise that this... Actually, no, it's a good idea, in fact. He's going to go to the inside of MX. MX is going to come back at him through turn 1, then Ghost is going to come back at him again into here on the final lap. It's a risky strategy, doesn't give him any margin for error, but it could well work. A lap and a half left of this race to go. Ghost, MX fighting very hard. Neither of them want to give even the other one a tiny advantage because they know every point counts. They're separated by just a single one, and the fact they're 1 and 2 now makes them equal on points. It's incredible. It's incredible to see, and we're witnessing one of the most insane title fights in APPF1 history. Both of them are absolute veterans of the series. Both of them have boasted success, and now it comes down to this final lap to help set them up better for the reverse grid race in race 2. Rick gets past Aces finally, but all our attention is focused on these two. Ghost has to nail this lap. He can't afford a single mistake between now and the DRS zone after turn 10. Catching a bit of lap traffic though. Could the Williams give MX a bit of DRS? That's what he's going to be hoping for. Ghost is going to be looking at that and thinking, no, no, no. MX still low on ERS, runs very wide off the exit of turn number 6 through 7. Are they going to be close enough to the Williams of Lifeboat in order to benefit from the DRS? They are. Indeed they are. He's very close. It's going to hurt Ghost a lot, but could still well do it in the slipstream using his ERS. MX has also benefit from it. It's not enough from Ghost. He's not closing as much as he would like to. Still going defensive though, taking every precaution he possibly can. Is Ghost going to launch one to the inside? He has a look to the inside of the chicane. MX gives him the space just a little bit. Sumo sets the fastest lap, but MX stays ahead. That back marker has saved his life. Ghost a massive slap, and it looks like it's going to go the way of MX in the first race, and he's going to extend the gap to 2 points into Silverstone. This is where Ghost might be able to make some time back up, make some points back up, but once more race 1 is going to go to the way of MX, who makes it 3 wins across the line, 13 laps, and MX wins the Russian Grand Prix. His title rival Ghost just 7/10 back. MX arguably got lucky with the Williams. Just behind him comes Blair, then Rick on the podium, RJ Blair on the podium, Rick in 4th, Madman Ollie Oliver in P5. Good recovery, good result overall. Jackalacco in 6th, spun across the line. Good strategy on those softs. The Aces in 7th. Tinos just a couple of moments later in P8. Then comes Kington and Mercedes in 9th to make it a 9 and 10 for Mercedes. Then comes Sumo. A little while later. We're going to have to wait quite a while for him. MX is absolutely chuffed for that. Brings the points 2 in his favour. But don't forget, it's the reverse grid race. Ghost is starting in front of MX this time around. Well, he did this time around as well. Bottled the start. That really put him on the back foot. And the Williams of Lifeboat might have just helped MX seal the championship. It's the main talking point of this race. Probably one of the only talking points of this race. Jackalacco takes driver of the day. For me, has to go to Silverstone. Just read a message, it says Silverstone. Has to go to the way of MX. Held off Ghost brilliantly and nailed the pit stop. Yeah, absolutely very lucky with the back marker, saved him. But still, you have to make your own luck, and you have to capitalise off that luck that you make in Formula 1. We'll talk through the race 1 results. Winning the race then, it was MX the Canadian in P1 with Ghost in 2nd. Very close behind, very hard fought battle between those two, with RJ Blair rounding off yet another podium. Then comes Rick in P4 with Madman Ollie Oliver in the McLaren after spinning on lap 2, comes back for 5th place. Jackalacco from 12th to 6th, great result, as well as Aces in 7th, really becoming accustomed to these elite settings. Tinos in P8 with Kington in 9th. Then comes TDV Max to round off the top 10. Sumo in P11 with the fastest lap to top it off, a 1:33.118. Lifeboat in P12, giving MX a massive helping hand in this championship. Our retirees were Calm Koala, Slippy Jimmy, Stingray and VK, who are unable to get to the checker flag today. Do not go anywhere though, ladies and gentlemen, because we've still got one more race. The British Grand Prix to seal off a crazy, chaotic, dramatic, whatever adjective you can think of, season. It's been great, and I've had the pleasure of commentating each and every round of it. And I cannot wait to see it done. 13 laps at Silverstone as well. No margin for error, no time for mistakes, no ability to make those mistakes. You cannot afford to. I'm pretty sure that Aston Martin, in terms of the constructors, because don't forget there is still the Teams Championship to think about. But just now checking the standings in terms of the constructors. Yeah, I think Alfa Romeo are going to seal. Yeah, they've got to seal the deal tonight. They're completely clear of Alfa Romeo in second place, but Alpine and Alfa Romeo are quite close, so look out for those two. We'll have to see how that pans out. I'm not going to follow it exactly because that's way too much maths to be doing on the fly. I will focus more so between MX and Ghost. Rick has aided Ghost, though. He's had a great season, little mistakes here and there. We're taking that win in Monaco, his one of his first sprint championship victories. He has driven well, just needs to work on his consistency a little bit, and him and Ghost have been great this season. It's been either one of them on the on the front row of the grid. Every race they've been on pole position. Sometimes it's been a front row lockout. I think a good at least 2 times they've had a front row lockout. So they're both driven great. Just Ghost has had that bit of an edge throughout the course of this season. Waiting then to go to Silverstone. Could it be rain affected? The British weather might play a factor in this, and of course last time it was a wet at Silverstone, Ghost did take the victory, which is important. So come in if you are watching along in the chat. Do make sure to like the stream. Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame, but racing, as much as you love it, it does not love you back, Ghost. And yeah, you've still got it all to play for on Silverstone, though. This is your playground. This is your home race. You've got the home crowd cheering you on, wanting you to win that championship, that 4th championship, 3rd in a row. We might be getting bored of you winning, and we certainly were thinking it was going to be a slam dunk victory. At the start of the season, but MX has given you a challenge. He's given us something to watch, and well, the home crowd are going to be rooting for you at home. They're going to be wanting you to take the victory. 2 points between you and MX, so nothing too major. You can make that up. 1 place and a fastest lap. You've got to nail those opening laps though, Ghost. You've got to get that fastest lap if you want to win this, and all MX has to do, start well, and carve his way through the field. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out though, because we are readying up. No qualifying for this race. It's reverse of the finishing order of the last one. So MX will be last ahead of the retirees, who will be right at the back of the grid. But it'll be MX, then Ghost, then Blair, then Rick, then Madman Ollie Oliver, off the top of my head. That'll be the bottom 5. But yeah, certainly cannot wait. Formation lap, and then 13 laps of the Silverstone International Circuit. I believe the full name is, because there's the national and there's the shorter circuits. There's a couple of shorter circuits, and then of course there's the old classic circuit as well. Either way, we're on the Grand Prix circuit, the newest edition, the newest layout to the circuit. I think it debuted 2000 and something. I was very young, I can't quite remember. I know Lewis Hamilton raced on it, so I'm guessing it was 2008 they switched over. Regardless, we've got 7 seconds to load in to the race. So I need to stand back up, get ready to go. And it's raining, look at this. Is it inters? Is it full wets? Yeah, absolutely. Aston Martin have sealed the constructors today because of One Wing's absence, so well done to them on getting their second constructors championship. First with Ghost and Rick as teammates. Can they make it to a championship though? Championships though? Can they win the drivers and the constructors in one season, or will it go the way of Alfa Romeo? Well, Scott, that's been thrown out the window, mate, because it's raining. So, tyre strategy, whether it dries up later on, we don't know. Something along those lines. And yeah, hopefully, if it was dry, that would be a good idea. But, what tyres are they on? Is it slicks? Is it inters? Is it full extreme wets? Having a look. It's inters. Okay, one of them, Ghost. He's on the full wets. Ghost has chosen to go on the full wets. So, they're potentially could be more rain on the way. It could forecast to get heavier and heavier, so he wants to take the little bit of a hit now to be a little bit better later on. He might actually be doing that for endurance. He doesn't have to stop. I don't think we'll see a planned pit stop in this race. This is interesting. MX is just behind him. If those inters bite off well at the start, MX is going to cruise past Ghost. But at the moment, if it stays as it is, Ghost just needs the fastest lap to win the championship. Because that extra point could decide this championship. You think, oh, the fastest lap is only an extra point, it's going to mean nothing. But at the moment, 2 points separate these guys. That extra 1 only means Ghost has to get 1 more place above MX, which is what he is. It's all come down to this. We've got Lifeboat on pole position. We're going to run through the grid just very quickly. We've got Lifeboat on pole with Sumo alongside. Then comes the 2 Mercedes of TTV Max and Kington. Tinos rounds off the top 5 with Aces in P6. Once again, starting towards the front end of the grid in the reverse race. Jack Alako 7th with Madman Ollie Oliver in P8. Then comes Rick in 9th with RJ Blair in P10. Ghost and MX are 2 title campaigners in 11th and 12th. Then come our retirees of Calm Koala, Slippy Jimmy, Stingray, VK and Harry Bix, his brother, who's joined us for this race 2. At the back of the grid, the 2 AlphaTauris once again trailing the back of the grid for race 2. But crucially, the predicted pit stop strategy. So the game is saying that inters are quicker. Usually, the game is correct in saying that the inters are quicker, but you don't really know. The rain is dodgy, and you don't really know which is better at different points. But what I will say is Rick in the Aston Martin is ahead of both his teammate and MX. Could we see Rick playing a part in this championship? Could we see him allowing Ghost to get through? You should probably, catch up. You don't want to miss it live. Could we see some team orders down at Aston Martin? Because Ghost is right behind Rick. He's going to get the slipstream down towards turn 1. Might be able to pip RJ Blair, and then Rick could just maybe move out of the way. Could we see that happen? I'm not entirely sure. We have to focus our attention at the front of the field, though, before the 5 red lights illuminate your screens for the final time here in Season 6 for the British Grand Prix. 2 points between our championship rivals. One of them is starting on the wet compound tyres today as the 5 red lights start to come on. 3 lights 4 lights and 5 red lights to the British Grand Prix for the final time in Season 6. We're underway and racing at a very overcast and very moist Silverstone. Sumo really struggling to get off away well. Lifeboat already leading into Turn 1. Tinos trying to get the move done on Sumo, who goes in a little bit deep through Turn 1. RJ Blair and Ghost going side by side, who's trying to make some progress on those wet compound tyres. MX as well getting in front of Ghost as they all concentrate their way through Village and into the loop for the first time. Lifeboat leads by 2 seconds with Tinos up the inside of Sumo. MX a great start. Calm Koala ahead of Ghost, who's falling back maybe on those wet compound tyres. It's not the best way to start this race, going backwards. Kington has had a bit of a shaky moment, staying in front of his teammate Jack Alacco to the inside of Brooklands as they all trying to climatise themselves to these wetter conditions quickly off the start before it all settles down and they all get into their rhythms. Just look at how many cars there are. MX trying to make some headways. At the moment, he is your Season 6 sprint champion, and Ghost is trying that no-stop. Is there enough pace? Calm Koala to the inside of Cobbs. The Haas on the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Who's going to get the job done? MX soars around the outside to stay in front. There's battles up and down the field. They're nose to tail in towards Maggots and Beckett. Is anyone going to go for a move? Surely not, when there's so much at stake. But still, everyone relatively close. They're all acclimatised into the circuit, all getting used to those conditions, very different conditions. RJ Blair's going to get a run on Ghost, who has to defend, and the more he defends, the more time he loses. Could Ghost throw it all away? Because the last time that we were here, he got pole. He was quickest in the wet at Silverstone last time out. I think it was Tier 1. Here comes the Haas. Calm Koala. Is he going to send one to the inside of MX to the Vale chicane? Side by side, bit of contact between himself and the Alfa Romeo. Both Ferrari powered, but which one's going to come out on top? Goes to a bit of a squirm as they exit through Club, and Calm Koala putting a one pressure, bit of contact, and that was a very shaky moment between himself and the title championship leader. Ghost now all over the back of MX into Turn 1 through Abbey, Farm, and then Village. But what a send from Calm Koala. The contact, though, would have completely shaken MX. Would have been thinking, whoa, nearly threw that away at the dying moments. He has one more race to go. Rick has had a spin. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. But Lifeboat still leads 1.1. Could he get his first victory at a rain-soaked Silverstone circuit? We'll have to wait and see, but they are very close. Ghost really struggling on the brakes. I think that could be his issue, is the braking power. But Calm Koala, very quick at Silverstone. It seems that confidence is definitely backed up by his pace. Is he going to make any more moves forward? Because we haven't really seen many people get that, get those positions gained. Highest has been Calm Koala up 4, then Madman up 3. And the biggest loser was Rick, down 6. Already a 5-second penalty for Stingray. Blair on the back of Ghost, who's losing time to MX. Were these wet compound tyres the right choice? The difference is the tread levels. The wets have more tread, which means less actual... Ooh, Harry Bix is retired on circuit. Could that be a safety car? It's a VSC, and RJ Blair has just zoomed past Ghost under the yellow flags. Has he got to consider that position? Surely he has to. Is he giving the place up? Are people going to come into the pit lane? Ghost has just been robbed of a position under yellow flags. I think he's coming into the pit lane. He is coming into the pit lane alongside Calm Koala, both of them in. Has Ghost bailed on this strategy for the Inters? Calm Koala's left the session. It's a full core safety car. There we go. It got upgraded. So Ghost is coming in for some fresh tyres. Probably for the Inters. Realise they're the better decision, and he's going to try and utilise some better pace. But in terms of the championship, he cannot afford any more lost positions yet. Straight off those wets. It was worth the risk, but it didn't quite pay off for him. If it worked, if it got more wet, if the Inters became slower, he'd have looked like a hero. But it's either hero or zero when it comes to gambles like that one. He's still going to come out in P12, only losing a couple of places, and he needs to hope that MX doesn't get off to the best of starts. They'll queue up behind the safety car. The Aston Martin DBX in the British Racing Green around Silverstone. Of course, the Aston Martin can't be doing any team orders to favour Ghost. Third Mylander would certainly be out of a job. But now on the Inters, is Ghost going to have a little bit more pace? He's got this, the lap to catch up to the safety car, to actually get used to these Inters, warm them in a little bit, scrub them in. And get used to the grip, because the wets if one's quicker, they're a lot quicker. The wets are really only for monsoon conditions where it's just hammering it down. Whereas this, it's while it is heavy rain, it's still quite a light drizzle, and the track isn't as wet as KTFO. It's a 10-second penalty for corner cut. What's he done there? He's cut across where the loop is. He's gone from Village straight through Aintree down the Wellington Straight. And I think he's going to give up in typical KTFO fashion, but we'll have to wait and see. He's spun round, and Blair has left the session as well, so another disconnect for these drivers. Will help Ghost out, but he has got time as KTFO still again spinning. He's just taking the mick at this point, I think. Should hurry up and retire if he's going to be doing that. But yeah, they're now queuing up behind the safety car, just waiting for Calm Koala. And then we should be able to go racing again. I say should. Yeah. Absolutely. The two AlphaTauri brothers are causing a little bit of chaos once more. I have to argue how safe they are to have on track. And, you know, the fact they give up so quickly is why. Should be only this lap under the safety car. As he's, yeah, still flying debris all over the circuit, which isn't great. The safety car, yeah, I just want KTFO, if he's going to retire, to just do it now, as opposed to making us all wait for a safety car restart, because the more the laps tick down, the less time we've got racing, and yeah, we just want the race to carry on going. And he's into the pit lane, speeds in, and hopefully is going to press pause and retire. Fingers crossed, so we can get going again. Or is he going to actually complete his first stop? I'm not entirely sure what's going to be going on, but we'll find out if the safety car's coming in this lap or not when they cross Sector 3. Because I want to go racing, Ghost wants to go racing, he's got some ground to catch up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 places between himself and MX. Safety car is in this lap though, so I'm going to have to stand up and I have to get myself ready, because all eyes are going to be on MX and Ghost. Lifeboat as well, searching for his first win of the season. First win ever, I think, as well. So, there's that. Rainstoke Silverstone, best place to do it. He's going to become the effective safety car. He's going to lead them round. Sumo wants to get going. They need to get back into that wet weather rhythm once again as soon as they lead round. 9 people are watching. Thank you to everyone that is tuning in today. 4 of 13, Lifeboat nearly spinning it off the restart. He's gone off the track. Sumo into the race lead. Lifeboat has bottled it. He's tumbling down the order. So now Sumo leads us round as we go green once more in Silverstone. Tinos following in second. Pretty even restart amongst the field. Lifeboat has fallen just ahead of Ghost though. That's really going to hamper his progress with Stingray just behind. Ghost needs to find a way through. Tinos, a 3-second penalty. Ghost just getting held up. His horrid luck in race 2s. Nothing seems to go his way. He's got such a task to catch up, and he's always on the back foot. He was on the back foot into this race, and once again that's been a similar story. Will MX get too aggressive? At the moment he's winning the championship. Is he going to go for the moves? Is he going to send it? Surely he can't afford it. Sumo into the lead. He loves the wet, not really experienced in terms of the wet weather, but he is definitely good. Aces as well, they're nose to tail, the top 3, Sumo, Tinos and Aces. Madman Ollie Oliver as well, searching for his first podium in the sprint series. Max as well inside the top 5, don't forget, that could also be something to look out for. Ghost seems to be struggling, his teammate is closing in on him. He's got 2.9 seconds to Slippy Jimmy. Has he got some damage maybe, after being behind the AI of Lifeboat? It's been so frustrating as a driver for Ghost, I can imagine, but Madman Ollie Oliver on the back of Aces down the hangar straight. Yellow flags through sector 3. That's the Alfa Romeo of KTFO, not Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri of KTFO, who's still out on the circuit. Aces goes in a bit deep, so too does Sinos. Madman on Oliver into 3rd place, Max into 4th, because Aces has gone very wide and lost a couple of places into the pit lane as he's picked up a little bit of damage. Has Aces, maybe he was, maybe that was encouraged, maybe Sinos broke a little bit earlier than he expected or something along those lines, but Aces, I know. I panicked for a little bit there because Ace is obviously messing up the grid order a little bit. But Slippy Jimmy's gone somewhere. Slippy Jimmy's up. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the timing, because at the moment, a couple of moments ago, Blair, when everyone was ahead on SMX, made a mistake. That could be a big possibility, and Ghost is closing down on this trade. Lifeboat done him twice now, yeah. Sometimes your biggest enemy is yourself in a lot of cases. MX now, though, might need a bit more of a cushion to Ghost behind. And the fastest lap could be decided by track evolution. Is it going to stay like this for the remainder of the race, or is it going to change a little bit here and there? 1.2 seconds now is the gap between Ghost and his title rival MX, which was a lot closer than it was this time last lap, which is going to be absolute delight to Ghost as he hunts for a 4th championship. There's KTFO skating across into the barrier and out of this session. Is that going to be another full course yellow? Please don't be. Yes, it is. That's another safety car. KTFO, Harry Biggs, whatever you're doing, stop messing around, because no one enjoys it. No one likes the races being stopped. Yes, they can cause some chaos and things like that, but we've got a championship to look forward to. We want these guys going at it lap after lap for 13 laps. We don't have a lot of time, and it's a long lap here at Silverstone, so please give us some slack and actually get onto it. Actually try. Don't just give up after a few laps, because, you know, you'd be surprised with the safety cars, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree that we don't like the safety car. Me as a commentator, my job is to call the action, and when there's a safety car, there's nothing going on. But once again, it's going to allow Ghost to close the gap to MX, so I guess it's not exactly the biggest nightmare in the world, but it doesn't give him as much time in this season finale. It's a season finale. We want these guys going at it lap after lap after lap, trying their hardest to win this championship, and not have it a few laps under safety car, a few laps racing, willy-nilly, whatever. I get it's wet, I get mistakes happen, but the other 15 drivers on the grid have managed to get by just fine, and when we were on board with VK, he was just drifting and taking the absolute mick for a couple of laps before finally just driving into the wall when people start to lap him. You need to get on it. If you're not, you know, good enough, if you're not willing to take part, don't take part, give the seat to someone else, or retire in the pit lane. Either way, things don't go your way, but it's just ridiculous how race after race, round after round, week after week, is both of you who are somehow DNF, did not finish, whatever it is, and you're just taking the mick and you're ruining the fun for everyone else. You're giving me such a frustrating time in the commentary booth. It's just absolutely annoying. But anyway, we've got a race to focus on. Let's not tarnish the magic of this title rival, because they're going to line up behind each other, one behind the other, for the safety car restart. We've got half of the race left to go. Six laps as they cross the line to start lap 8, if they even go this lap. Because we've still got Lifeboat and Calm Koala and Aces to catch up to the grid, so it might be on to lap 9, which is going to be 5 laps to the end, which again just doesn't give Ghost a lot of time. He's going to be so annoyed that there's 3 Aston Martins out on track as opposed to just the 2, because it's wasting his time in order to get in front. He might have some good pace. He's got the fresher inters. That's the thing. He's got those fresh tyres, and he wants to use them. He wants to use this weather pace. He wants to get in front, set the fastest lap, get in front of Blair, get in front of MX, because all he needs to do is get ahead of MX, get ahead of Blair. P7 at the moment, if it stays like this. If MX stays 9th, P7 is all Ghost needs to do to win this title. He'll win on countback. And at the front, Sumo's going to lead us round. Again, he's searching for... I'm not entirely sure if he's won a race this season yet, because I know Rick's the 9th win. I'm not quite sure who's the 10th win. I can't quite remember. I'll actually quickly go through this one and see if I can find out, because there's nothing better to be doing. We're under the safety car. We're going slowly because there's no action, because some noddies decided to put into a barrier after drifting around for 3 laps. But anyway, let's have a look at the race results. Thanks to Ghost for putting them in. The podiums. Let's have a look. Ghost and MX. Ghost and Tinos. Yes, of course, he won in Suzuka, didn't he? yeah, Pommy Alex getting onto the podium. I think after penalties, that's what it was, wasn't it? He managed to get onto the podium, because I don't actually remember him doing it on the line. But anyway, yeah, Tinos is the other winner of the season. We've had 4 different race winners: Ghost, MX, Tinos, and I believe someone else. I didn't actually check if there was anyone else. Oh no, and Rick, of course. Rick, of course. I must have been a punker. But yeah, lap 8 of 13, we've had half this race under safety car. Wet races typically don't really give us the best of action, but hey, it's wet. It's how the cards have been drawn. How the cards have been dealt out, and yeah, you have to play with the hand you've got. And Ghost is going to be trying to bluff his way through and play his hand forward in trying to win his 4th title, his 3rd consecutive sprint title. He won season 1, he won season 4, and he won season 5. Now he's going to try and win season 6, or is MX going to etch his name into the history books in the sprint series? He won the season 3 tier 1 championship. He's now trying to make it a 2-time champion, and the 2nd driver ever to do it across series. The other was Vardy. He won tier 1, and I think he may have won the elite series, or he might actually be the first off the top of my head. Didn't quite do the research into that one. Unless Ghost, of course, won the Elite Series, but again, I haven't been keeping up with that as well as I possibly could. So he might well be the first driver to win across a series, and that does prove how well-rounded you can be to win against different fields of competition in different environments, different rule sets. That's what makes you a well-rounded driver, and that's why MX has really, since him joining the lead, has impressed with his aggression and his speed and his success. Sumo's going to lead us round, and he's punched it going into Vale, trying to catch Tinos out as we go green at once more here in Silverstone, through the second part of Vale and through Club. A great jump from Sumo. MX has lost a bit of time. Jackalacco trying to get past TDV Max off the restart. Green on lap 9 then of 13. 5 laps left of the British Grand Prix. RJ Blair's been sent round, so that inherits MX and Ghost into 8th and 9th, and Ghost all over the rear end of his title rival. Tinos has got that 3-second time penalty to contend with. Ghost needs to put pressure on. He needs to get pressure on quickly as they go side by side further up. Slippy Jimmy and Kington going side by side as well, trying to get past Jackalacco. TDV Max is causing a massive train here, a massive roadblock, and that's allowing MX to close up, get into the slipstream, and that will allow him to defend. Down the Wellington straight then for the first time off the restart. Max dipping a wheel onto the grass. To the inside goes Jackalacco. Is he late enough under brakes? Not quite, but Max has got a bit of damage to that front left end plate, and that's going to be costing him some aerodynamics as Jackalacco sails through. TDV Max going to try and come back at him. Kington getting a little bit of pressure from Slippy Jimmy. Bit of contact between the two as they run down through Woodcut and down the old pitch straight. Ghost just trying to pick his way through, pick his moments. Where can he get some places? MX as well doesn't want to take any risks as they go through Cobb's Corner. Look at how many cars there are. Ghost through the middle as him and MX both get past Kington, which yes is good for Ghost, but not favourable really, because he's not gaining anything on MX. Yes, he's getting points himself, but not anything relative to MX. Max back into P5, staying in front. 2x2 they go down the hanger straight. Slippy Jimmy gets in front. MX yet trying to find a way through. Are they going to be 3 abreast down towards Stoke Corner? Ghost trying to dummy his way to the right hand side. Going to have to try and follow MX through, who tries to go for the move. Ghost going to go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo through Stowe over the inside for Vale, but hasn't quite got the drive. Madman on over into second place. Is MX going to send one to the inside of Vale? Yes he does. Is he going to be able to steal the move? No. Gets sent wide. Ghost going to look to the inside. He needs to seize every opportunity he possibly can, and yes, this is a fight for P5, but it's a fight for the championship at the same time. And at the moment, Ghost just needs to get through both of these guys, hope that MX falls back a little bit, or catch up to Jackalacco, who's already 4 seconds up. MX having to defend very aggressively from Ghost, who parks it on the inside. His teammates there as a wingman, as a backup, trying to help him. Ghost again looking for the outside, setting up the switcheroo maybe as they once again go down the Wellington straight towards Brooklyn. Sumo still leads. A great drive off Aintree from Ghost. to get past MX. Is it enough? Is he late enough under brakes into Brooklands? Yes, he is. He's going to send one, the Aston Martin, and MX going side by side. The MX giving him the room. A wide berth on the outside through Luffield again for the 10th time, and Ghost has to concede once more. Gets the cutback, gets the better exit maybe on the run towards Copse Corner. It's not going to be the first time we see title rivals go side by side if that's the case. MX having a world of pressure on his shoulders. He's 3.5 laps away from his first sprint championship as they go towards Maggots and Beckett. Slippy Jimmy as well just ahead. Ghost is trying everything in the books, everything he possibly can that's up his sleeve, his countless experience in terms of racing to try and win this one. And Slippy Jimmy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Madman Oliver trying to get himself into second place down the hanger straight for the 10th time. Once again, Ghost trying to close the gap. No DRS in these wet conditions. Looking to the right hand side, but not quite able to on this occasion. Ghost all over the back of MX. He's going to send one to the inside of Vale. How late can it be? It's incredibly late. Gets the move done. Is it sealed though? Because MX is still there. Bit of contact between the two title rivals. MX gets pinched on the curb. They're still side by side through Club. Ghost around the outside. Brilliant move to make the pendulum swing his way once again. It's now 1 point between himself and MX. He needs to go and get that fastest lap. He needs to go and get something in order to win this race. At the moment it's Jackalacos, and he needs to hope that MX falls back a little bit, falls into the clutch of his teammate, but slides like that aren't going to help at all. 1 second between Ghost and Slippy Jimmy, but that penalty is going to set him back. Lap 11 of 13, 3 laps to go. Here's Ghost on the back of Slippy Jimmy, gets himself ahead. This is what he needs to make it equal. At the moment he's going to win the title. If MX gets a penalty, we need Rick to get involved to put some pressure on MX if Ghost wants to win this race. Either way, it's been a great season. It's been a great race to close it off. Is Slippy Jimmy going to park it? Is he going to back MX up and allow Ghost to try and sprint off? Because that's all he can do. He's doing everything he possibly can to still win this race. Rick needs to help Ghost now. Absolutely. He needs to put that pressure on. Needs to slow MX down. Needs to bring Aces into the mix. Something in order to slow MX down. But it's all kicking off at the front a little bit here. MX trying to get past Slippy Jimmy. If he can do that, which he will come the checker flag with that penalty. But Rick is there also. Slippy Jimmy making that as wide as he possibly can. Sumo still dominantly leading the way. He's got Tinos and Madman Oliver close behind. Jackalaco 2 goes trailing off a little bit. Rick just needs to get in the mix, needs to do something. Rick knows how to race. Rick knows how to send one to the inside. Madman Oliver going side by side with Tinos through Vale. Managed to send one to the inside, with the outside for the second part. Bit of a snap of oversteer though. Goes very wide off the exit as Jacko goes even quicker once again as Rick now putting pressure on MX, playing the team game brilliantly, and side by side with MX as they run up down the Hamilton straight towards turn 1, is ahead and really helping his teammate out as best he can. And now he needs to slow him down, allow Slippy Jimmy to get ahead. 2 laps left in this season 6 championship, and at the moment it's completely uncertain who's going to win this race, win this championship. Ghost, Tinos, Madman Oliver, all have driven great. Every driver in this race, in this championship, have had a great season. They all deserve a pat on the back, but it's all about Ghost, it's all about MX. And at the moment, Sumo trying to get his first race win of this season. Thank you to everyone who has been watching, who has tuned along for everything that has been good and great about this race and about this season. It's been a pleasure to have you, and Rick is doing such a good job. Aces is now in the mix. If he can get through, it won't matter, and Ghost will be a 4-time sprint champion here in APPF1. A lap and a half left to go, and MX is doing everything he possibly can. They've both had good luck, they've both had really bad luck. Nose to tail towards Maggots and Beckett. Here comes Aces to the inside, over the outside for Beckett. He's going to go for it. What a move from the Red Bull, still side by side, bit of contact, and eventually was sent round. Aces unfortunately tried the sensational move, but it didn't quite work out for him, unfortunately. But Rick has just got to hold up MX for 8 more tenths of a second. He's going to go all the way around the outside. Rick going to force him off, give him absolutely no room to stay in front. Just 6 tenths he needs to slow him down by on this lap to allow Ghost to win even deeper into Vale. He's making that car so wide as we go on to the final lap of season 6. Rick doing everything he can, and at the moment it's good enough in order to seal Ghost the championship. On countback, they'll be equal on points after 12 races in such a close format. side by side as Madman Ollie Oliver and Tinos 2 go side by side. It won't matter because Jackalacko will get their way through, but great racing between these guys. We keep forgetting there's still a race for the race victory on our hands. Sumo under pressure from Tinos into Brooklyn. Is Madman going to send one to the inside? These guys are just slowing each other down, but Tinos gets sent in deep, boxed in by the Alpine. Rick and MX are still going at it. We need two screens. I need to see both things of what's going on. They're still side by side. MX trying everything he possibly can, but 4 seconds to Slippy Jimmy now might just be enough in order to seal this championship. Tinos on the inside of the McLaren, who's going to go all the way around the outside of Kopp, still side by side. This is great racing between these guys. Jackalacko trying to pick his moments, trying to pick his way through exactly the entire grid, trying their best to help out Ghost and Madman Ollie Oliver and Tinos still side by side through Maggins and Beckett's through Chapel Curve. Bit of contact, and the final sector of this championship, Madman gets a massive slide. Jackalacko into P3, and the more they fight, Ghost just 6 attempts in order to get an extra position, an extra point just to help him secure that championship. Madman to the inside of Jacko through Stowe Curve, but it's not going to matter. Through all of this, with the 13 laps we've had here at Silverstone, through the drama, the controversy, the chaos, this season has been fantastic. But the final race here in Silverstone, a rain-soaked Silverstone, across the line, it's going to be Sumo for his first win of Season 6, his only win of Season 6. Tinos comes home in second on track, but it's a Alpine 1-2 here. Ghost across the line, and we're going to find out if he's going to be your Season 6 champion of the world. MX has tried absolutely everything he possibly can, but it's going to go Ghost. It's going to go British here at the British Grand Prix. A 4-time champion for GG Ghost. 2-7-2. Pat on the back for you, mate. It was equal on points, but his 6 race wins to MX's mere 3 allows him to seal the deal. It was so close, so decisive, and at the end came down to who won the most races, and everyone can have a massive pat on the back, whatever they need to do after that one. Rick, driver of the day, did the Sergio Perez, played the team game to perfection, made that car as wide as it possibly could be, and Ghost pulled his magic off once again. It didn't look like it was going to go his way. Sochi mugged off by the back marker into here, mugged off by the safety cars, by his poor decision going onto those wets. But in the end, he prevailed, he persevered, he was determined, he used his consistency, his experience, and once again, edges his name into the statistics as a 4-time champion. And hey, it's how it is. Formula 1 is a team sport. Rick did his best. Rick did his part in order to help him seal the deal. And well, after a chaotic finale here in Silverstone, an Alpine 1-2. Alpine domination. So boring. Really is boring. But a McLaren on the podium. I think it's 3 Brits on the podium. And in fact, it's a British top 4. Jackalacko, mate, you are British, even though you have that Scottish flag. And Alpine 1-2, Sumo leading the way with Jackalacko in second. Then comes Madman Ollie Oliver in P3 with Ghost in 4th. Tinos P5 with MX in 6th. So close in order to getting that first sprint championship, but his time will come. Slippy Jimmy in P7 with Rick in 8th. Then comes Aces and Blair 9th and 10th, with Stingray just outside the top 10 in 11th. Then comes Kington and TDB Max. Both had decent starts to the race, but unfortunately couldn't convert to a decent result. Kam Koala in P14 with Lifebout 15th, bottling a chance for a race win or a podium off that first safety car restart. Katie Vo and Harry Bix, the two, well, they round off the grid at the back because once again it's a double DNF, a double deliberate DNF potentially as well from the pair of them, and I'm sure something's going to have to be done going into Season 7, which I cannot wait for. We've still got the Tier 1 Championship going on. That's going to be going for a few more weeks now and into the Sprint Series 7, and Ghost got the fastest lap as well, 38.0, just to well, it didn't even come down to countback then, did it? Because Ghost managed to win the championship by 1 point, and he is going to be absolutely elated with that one. I've got a lump in my throat. My voice is absolutely gone. I need a cup of tea. I need some water. But, yeah, great driving from everyone. Great season from everyone. And it was a pleasure to be able to call the action week in, week out. 12 races, and 6 of them went the way of Ghost. 8 podiums equal between the two, and in the end of it, it was 221 points for Ghost, with only 220. No, actually, not quite sure in terms of the actual points, but it come down to just 1 point. And thank you so much for everyone for tuning in and everything like that. Season 7 will be up in a couple of weeks, I'm sure, when they get the calendar and things like that sorted, the team sorted, who's going to be coming in and everything. MX's time will come, but it was a double championship for Aston Martin, the drivers for Ghost, and the constructors between themselves, himself and Rick. But yeah, tune in a couple of weeks' time. Tune in on Fridays for the Tier 1 Championship. Tune in over at Ghost Channel and Sumo Channel for the Tier 2 Championship every Tuesday at 7:30 GMT. Sleepy helping him up as well, considering giving him the third Aston Martin seat. Well, that's going to be the safety car for some rounds. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. Very much agreed. But yeah, thank you for everyone for tuning in. I'll say it enough. But yeah, I think that's going to have to round it off, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a stellar Season 6, one that will definitely be remembered for a long, long time to come. And well, I've been Zach Sweeney. This has been the APPF1 Sprint Championship. Tune in next time for Season 7, round number 1. And I'll see you then. Have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.